Hi, everyone. I'm Cynthia Toussaint here at Women in Pain Nation. So glad that you are joining me today. And I'm going to be doing a hot take interview. These are bite-sized conversations with women in pain and other pain experts that speak to the lived experience of those of us with chronic pain. And today I'm going to be talking to the wise and wonderful Dr. Afton Hassett. Dr. Hassett, there you are. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. I know we have a delay, but we are super cool women and we're going to make it work anyway. Dr. Hassett is so many things, probably a little bit confused right now. And among those many things, she is a chronic pain and fatigue. She is a principal investigator at University of Michigan's Chronic Pain and Fatigue Research Center and the author of one of my all-time favorite books. It is Chronic Pain Reset. And the subtitle is great. It's 30 days of activities, practices, and skills to help you thrive. And because all of us at Women in Pain Nation want to thrive, I want to just jump in I feel like I want to talk slowly. One of your areas of expertise that I really love, and that is resilience. First of all, other than superhuman strength, how do you define resilience? Dr. Hassett.
Well, first of all, I am so happy to be here and to be able to share some ideas about resilience. I think, Cynthia, we've spent an awful lot of time as researchers and psychologists understanding all the things that go wrong with people who experience chronic pain. And my interest is instead, what are the things that go right and what is it that we can do to make ourselves more successful and more resilient? And so resilience is actually our ability to bounce back after adversity. So there is no resilience if there is no adversity. So the understanding is that bad things happen in our lives. And the question is the degree to which we can bounce back. What are the tools that we have in our toolbox, the humans, the experiences, and the ways of thinking that can help us bounce back?
Very, very interesting. Bouncing back after adversity. So right away, I want to know, okay, if we don't have adversity, do we have resilience? Is that possible?
Wow, that's a cool question because I don't think I've ever studied a human that didn't have adversity.
Okay, good point.
but I think yes. I think that we can think about times in our lives where we didn't have a lot of bad things happening, and if we did continue to take care of ourselves and to maintain our friendships and to, be aware of how we think, that we still are being resilient at that time. And then when the bad thing comes along, we have kind of that inherent strength and the resources to lean on.
That's really interesting. I used to say before I got really sick, that my father died when I was very young, and I used to say, but it did make me stronger. And I think that maybe there is something to that now. Okay, that's really, really interesting. Okay, wow. So how does resilience help people with chronic pain?
Oh, how does it not? I mean, resilience is so important. I mean, when we start with the literature to understand what we understand scientifically about how resilience factors are associated with every good pain outcome that we want. So people who are resilient tend to lean on more positive emotions. They tend to be good copers. They tend to have really good social support systems. And all of those factors are highly associated with using less pain medication, with higher functioning, with actually less pain sensitivity, and just less pain overall. So it's so many ways and so important. And so it's not a fluffy concept. It really is kind of critical to survival to be able to be resilient, to be able to, harness these resources to, lead the best possible life despite the pain.
Right. And that makes so much sense, Dr. Hassett. So when you spoke at one of our Women in Pain conferences a number of years ago, we ended up getting quite a lot of media because Women in Pain kept writing in and saying, how dare you as a doctor say that resilience can help our pain? Do you have any idea why women reacted that way? I still have trouble figuring that out.
No, I get it. So, and I think it comes from a kind of a natural sense that people don't necessarily buy what's happening. And so people feel defensive. It's like, I have chronic pain. I have a biological, physiological, devastating illness. And you're telling me that if I was just more resilient, I'd be better off? Or change the scope. you're telling me if I wasn't depressed, I wouldn't have pain. You're telling me if I wasn't in a good relationship, I wouldn't have chronic pain. So it goes on, and all of these other factors, they feel like they're pejorative or blaming, when really that's not it. It's like these are factors that are important to the entire picture. And if we can build or change the factors that are not helpful, it gives us some ability to cope better with our pain. So, for example, if you have depression and you're able to deal with your depression and improve, your pain is going to get better. If you have chronic pain and you learn skills to become more resilient and to be able to better deal with stress, which often makes pain so much worse, you're going to do better. So it isn't about blaming. It's about, hey, you need more tools in your arsenal, and let us think of ways to help you get them.
Right. That makes so much sense, Dr. Hassett. We are not saying, or you are not saying, by having resilience, helping your chronic pain, that it's all in your head. It's not another way of
Yeah.
saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
far,
So I wanted to
far
make
from
that
true.
clear. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So are we, I think I know the answer now, but are we born with as much resilience as we're going to have, or is it a muscle that we can build? And if we can build it, how do we build it?
Yeah. I love that question, Cynthia. I think, it's like any of our of the properties that we kind of study in the role of, of researcher. Part of it is nature, part of it is nurture, right? So there's certain amounts of resilience, of happiness, of strength, of whatever it is that we are kind of genetically predisposed to, but that's a small part of it. The other part is so important, is the environment and what you add to it. So yes, maybe some people are a little bit more resilient out of the womb, but all of us have the capacity to build more resilience and to become infinitely more resilient. And what we strive for in kind of the resilience community is to not only have a large amount of resilience, but to actually thrive in the face of an adversity. And we see this in individuals who have a horrible tragedy. Perhaps they lose a family member or a child, and they channel this energy into a way to, make it so that nobody else has to, no other family has to suffer through that, because of their efforts to defeat a disease or a condition or some other aspect. So they are marked and saddened by what happened, but they now are strong and empowered. They're actually kind of thriving on the other side of the adversity.
I see. So that makes sense to me, because I got really sick, obviously, complex regional pain syndrome 40
Yes.
something years ago. And eventually I thought, I have to start a nonprofit, because I can't not do anything. I want other people
Yeah.
I wanted to find meaning out of tragedy.
Mhm.
But when I asked that question, I was sort of laughing inside, because I'm thinking, we don't want to build resilience by having bad things happen to us, right?
No.
I mean, no. But
No.
when they do happen, it's the making the meaning out of
Yeah.
the yeah. Okay, that
Yeah.
I'm liking this resilience thing. So I also love self-care. And what
Mhm.
I love about your book is that you, like you said, rather than saying, hey, there's this medication, and
Mm.
there's this maybe we can have intrathecal pumps, or we can have spinal cord stimulators, but implantable devices. But rather than doing that, there are so many ways that we can take care of ourselves to get better. And I'm wondering, as a huge self-care believer,
Yeah.
where does self-care fit in when we're building our resilience, or does it fit in?
Mm,
It
Oh
must.
gosh.
It must fit.
Yes. Yes. It's the core. It really is the core, because if you aren't taking care of yourself, you really aren't going to be resilient, right? You're going to be forever kind of buffeted against everything that kind of comes your way, and not be able to bounce back. You won't have the resources. Where self-care, that enables you to do the things that you need to do, to sleep well, to eat well, to build friendships that feel nourishing and supportive, to do the things that you enjoy. Every time we do something that we enjoy, we kind of stash aside a little bit of good emotion, good feeling, wellness. And these become almost like our little stashes
Yeah.
of well-being that we could draw on. So every time you have a great experience with somebody that you love, or every time you have a wonderful meal that you deeply appreciate, or have a moment where you just feeling at peace and comfortable and, you know, in love, all that kind of, they're almost like little boxes on a shelf, I imagine, right? And this collection together really, you know, starts to become the core of your resilience.
Wow, who knew? You knew. Okay, I'm getting a wrap sign. It feels like we just started. I love this interview, Dr. Hafton. I love you. I just please say hello to University of Michigan, where my dad was a professor and where I was born. I still have to get back there. Thank you so much again for your wonderful book. There's
Yeah.
that. And thank you, everybody. You need to read this book and learn from Dr. Afton Hassett. Thank you so much, Dr. Hassett, for being here. Kisses to you in Michigan. And thank you, everybody else, for being here, for joining us today on this hot take interview. Or do I say for this hot take interview? I'm not sure, but hopefully you don't have a delay and you can hear me perfectly. And please, in the comments section below, please write about your resilience. Were you born with a lot of it? Maybe not. Have you built some of it? Are you, after listening to this interview, do you have ideas of how you're going to build it? Let us know what worked for you and what maybe didn't work so well for you. And let us know what's on your shelves of wellness and resilience. Also talk about self-care. I want to hear what you're doing with self-care, which is what I love so very, very much. Dr. Afton Hassett and I want to know, and make sure and take pictures, Muscle Woman pictures, and put those up too. We look forward to seeing those. Okay, so thanks again, everybody. And I'm Cynthia Toussaint signing off from Women in Pain Nation. Bye, everybody.